Greetings. I am Backwater Jay, and This is part one of the series on what I'm going to call the Starry Night Strat, and you will see why in a second. But this is a instrument with a bit of a story to tell. This was the second solid body electric I ever owned. I say solid body because there were some experiments with putting magnetic pickups into acoustic guitars before then. But this was at the time back in the 90s. I was in high school. This was the guitar of my dreams, or at least the attainable guitar of my dreams. My dad ended up buying this for me for Christmas, but basically that was after I nudged him and said, "This is what you should buy me for Christmas." And so thank you, Dad, for doing that all those years ago. I have not forgotten. To break it down for you, this is a Squire Japan Strat. I'm guessing based on the serial number that it is about an 82. And it has been, as I said, with me through most of my musical life and my musical career. So this instrument has featured heavily in Divine Crush and Lunar Flare, two of the biggest bands I've been in to date. It has also been in a more obscure project called Crop Angel 61, which is where it gets its insignia here from. As you can see, this is a what we'll call a well-loved guitar. It started out more or less stock, near as I can tell. I have since done a lot of things to it. I think one of the first things I did, and this was originally with mini toggles, was this separate out the pickup switches. And I have these ridiculously big rockers on here now. These probably will be going during the course of this series because, frankly, it's hard to find these in double pull, double throw, which I need. These are currently single pull, single throw, which are good for turning on pickups and not much else. It's got your standard volume. It had your standard volume, tone. I have since actually turned the Strat switch, which is no longer being used, into a sort of varitone control. And now, because of the way the Strat switch works, I have currently two capacitors on either side going to both tone controls. The mid knob here being for the neck and middle pickup, which apparently has come disconnected at some point because I don't seem to notice a difference when I adjust the tone on that one currently, and I don't feel like troubleshooting wiring when I'm going to be redoing it anyways. Of course, back knob corresponds to the treble pickup, and that one seems to be working just fine. As you'll see in the demo later on. So what have I done to this guitar? Bear in mind, this is old work. This has all been done, I suspect it's all been done in the past millennium, pre-2000. So it's been sitting around for a while. It's been played for a while since anything was done to it. So a few things are wrong with it, which are going to be fixed in the process of this series. But I wanted to kind of give you a before, what I will call Mutation Stage 1. This is actually prior to jmutations being a concept in my brain. So let's start with the tuners. These are obviously replacements here. Back in the day, I had the bright idea that I could pick up two sets of 3 on a side tuners and use them as 2 sets of 6 on a side tuners. This seemed like a good idea at the time. It was not, because as you can see, the knobs are gigantic and run into each other. So this is going to be swapped out. I'm not sure for what, but they are good locking tuners, so I hesitate to throw them away. They will probably be going on something else, or I will try to find buttons that will fit these tuners that are smaller buttons. But in any case, I mentioned the 3 pickup switches already. These incidentally are, I don't know if you can see that, but these are flat pole pieces on these pickups. They are also, and we'll be getting into this a little bit later, but they're also non-standard Fender pickups in that they have a ceramic bar magnet on the bottom of them. Not considered ideal by Fender purists, but they sounded good to me, and they sound better with the modification that I've done to them. That said, during the course of this rebuild, they probably will all get scrapped. Or I shouldn't say scrapped, but removed from this guitar and repurposed eventually. Um, what else can I tell you? We have the original tremolo that came with the guitar here. However, you'll notice I have replaced the saddles because they are nice and black. These are Graphtec Ghost saddles, which are actually contain a piezo element in each saddle, so that they will produce an acoustic tone. However, at the time, I did not install a preamp. So because of some weird interaction between magnetic pickups and piezo pickups, they can't be run on the same circuit. So what I have here in addition to your standard Strat jack, which is what it is, I have put a decorative pick as a jack holder. And of course I've drilled this out so that I was able to put a second jack in here. I will probably be using both of these jacks later in the build. But of course this is designed to primarily be used through the Strat output jack. Currently, to get the acoustic sound, you actually have to switch jacks, but that will be changing. I have played with the bridge a little bit. Actually, since making the demo for this, I added some glue to the tremolo arms so that it actually will hold in place where you put it rather than just being loose. I've also, if you notice here, there's been some significant wear here because the tremolo arm is not straight as it sits flat in the cavity. So what I've done is I've actually made it much more of a floating tremolo. I don't know if you can see that. Let me show you the other side. But I've made it much more floating, which means I'm going to have to do some significant saddle adjustment to compensate. But that has allowed it to have a little bit more even travel and not scrape against the body and still be a comfortable height to whammy when I'm in the mood to do that. I think I've said what I need to say. Let's see how this thing sounds.